Number 14. Contactees with extraterrestrial civilizations. Irina Podzorova, Answers to Questions in VK, Part 1. Published September 6, 2019. Participants: Irina Podzorova, Maxim Rusin, representative of the Interstellar Union, hereinafter MC, Midgaskows, Planet Essler.
Greetings, dear friends. Thank you all for following the information I post in my group Cassiopeia. Today I have decided to answer those questions which have appeared to you after acquaintance with the information from my extraterrestrial friends. And for this purpose today I have invited representatives of 3 civilizations. Now in astral bodies, next to me there are Midgaskows from the planet Essler, Ashtar, who represents Sirius civilization, and Lishioni, a representative of Shimor civilization. I am assisted by Maxim, who will now read the questions from you. Midgaskows will answer them.
Yes, I salute everyone too. I'm not visible, I'm behind the camera. I'm just going to help Irina to ask your questions. Irina, we have a person in our group who calls himself Vlad Petrov. He has a huge number of questions, but due to the fact that you have already answered many questions, you and I have written out the questions that I think will be of interest to everyone. What is soul and spirit? How do they differ?
Soul and spirits are the name of one entity. The difference is that spirit is an immortal entity born by God, and soul is the same entity connected with life force, a special form of energy essence combined with life force, a special form of energy to connect to the physical body.
Thank you very much. I understand that Midgaskows answers questions through you, yes?
Yes.
What is spiritual development?
Spiritual development is to increase one's level of awareness and to see everything in the true light, which is love. The goal of any spiritual development is to replace all feelings and emotions in your spirit with only one emotion, one feeling, one state of energy, which in your Russian language is called love.
Thank you. Again, Vlad Petrov asks how many energy structures the human aura has and what they are responsible for.
I will describe it in terms you can understand. The human aura of the Earth type consists of 7 structures. The first one, in your language, is called ether or prana. It is a vital force, which is released by the physical body from chemical reactions occurring during the cleavage of food substances into simple substances, joining to oxygen. The second is called the astral sheath. It is responsible for emotional and volitional structures. Emotions are understood as the energy for the reaction of the spirit to one or another event of the external or internal world. By will is understood the energy of spirit energy, which is directed by it to achieve one or another goal. The next level is the mental level, the mental field. It contains information of intellectually logical structures of your consciousness. By consciousness is meant the spirit energy, which is directed to the perception of the external and internal world. The next level in your language is called the causal level. It contains information that contains images that are inaccessible to you in the ordinary state of consciousness, but which constitute your past experience. In your psychology, this is called the unconscious, or the contents of the unconscious. The next level is what you call the buddhi, or pure mind. It contains information also inaccessible to you in the ordinary state of consciousness, but unlike the previous level, it was not produced by the spirit while it was in this body. That is, it is information that has not passed through the brain of this body. To put it simply, this is information about your previous incarnations and about life in the spiritual world between them. And the last level, which you call Atman or Atmas, is what you call superconsciousness, higher self, conscience, intuition. These are all manifestations of pure light of love, which are in each of you. This is the state of non-difference, non-differentiation from God as spirits. The possibility of entering this state constitutes the last 7th layer of your aura.
Mead, I understand we have 7 energy centers, right?
Yes.
How many energy centers do you Aslarians have?
12.
So you're different from us in terms of energy structure.
Yes.
Are you physically like us?
Yes.
Thank you. Next question from the same Vlad Petrov. How do Aslarians imagine God?
God is the extra-material being who gave birth to all of us and from his energy created the dense material universe, which you call the dense material universe. What you call galaxies, stars, planets are parts of his energy structures. Simply put, everything you see around you and you yourself are God. not the whole God, but parts of his energy structure. The consciousness of God is available to each of you through Atmas, through the consciousness of the higher self. Coming into contact with your superconsciousness, you become, in your essence, not different from the consciousness of God. God is everything, and everything is God. That is the concept of our civilization.
I thank you, Mead. Who wrote the Bible?
If you mean the canonical writings of the Old and New Testament, it has many authors, more than 40. Some of them were contactees, like Moses, Ezekiel, Isaiah, Daniel, Paul, John the theologian, and many others. Some of them were not contactees. They described those events that happened in their present, but in your past, they can be called chroniclers, historians. But those books which were included in the canon of sacred scripture for Christians passed a strict selection, and it included only those books that helped to form the Christian egregore, and everything that could bring discord in the emerging community of believers was not included in the canon. Although this does not mean that the events described in non-canonical books are not true, or the point of view expressed by the author of a non-canonical biblical work is wrong.
I got it. Thanks a lot, Mead. Very interesting question from the same Vlad Petrov who organized the experiment on creation of mankind, and what is its meaning and purpose?
Initially, the experiment on creation of hybrids on your planet was decided by the representatives of the planet Tumasaut, who discovered your world. The goal was to develop from those animal forms that had not had time to evolve through natural evolution into a being capable of housing an intelligent spirit for incarnation. To speed up this process, because your planet and its neighbors, Mars and Venus, seemed to them an ideal place for the formation of a fairly advanced civilization, a future partner. And they didn't want to wait many thousands or even millions of years for natural evolution to continue. This was the purpose and meaning of the beginning of experiments on those animals of your planet, which were subjected to genetic changes in order to create a nervous system and a general metabolism capable of creating a body suitable for the incarnation of an intelligent spirit.
Is it true that I have heard that the Yeti are creatures that have undergone their own evolution?
The Yeti is a tribe, one of the tribes of ancient people who appeared after the war 12,000 years ago, who broke away from the main peoples and continued to live in harmony with nature, without building cities, industry, whatever you have. They lived in caves, in forests, and by necessity they had a process of reverse evolution in the form of hair regrowth because they didn't have the life support systems that have become commonplace in cities. But in spite of this, even thanks to the fact that their consciousness was not absorbed by such a material existence as in other peoples, but was in harmony with nature and with those nature of spirits who lived nearby, their consciousness became more capable of various kinds of mental and magical work with spatial energies, with their bodies and so on, which are not available to you, as the upbringing of a child from a small age in your world is not at all conducive to the development of such abilities.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. Is the Earth a living being? This question is from Anna Sukatskaya.
Any planet, any star has electromagnetic fields, which are the basis for the incarnation of certain intelligent spirits. Planets and stars themselves are not living beings in your understanding. Rather, their energy informational shell is the basis for the manifestation of one or another intelligent spirit. So the answer is both yes and no. As a physical object, a planet is not a living being, but as an energy object in the universe, yes, it is.
Thank you, Mead. Anna Sukatskaya further asks, how long did the technical evolution on Esler take, and what did it consist of?
The path of our technical development in general resembled your terrestrial one, with the only difference that we did not have such a long period of using jet engines and those types of energy which you call nuclear. We had only a few decades in your calculus. The path of our technical evolution, from the first very simple technical devices that you call machines, without air travel, ground transportation, to the first flight into space, took, in your reckoning, about 5,500 years. By space flight, we do not mean flying around the planet, but flying to the other stars of the galaxy.
Mead is your race hybrid, and did it evolve on its own?
Our race came about by natural evolution.
How long did it take for Midgaskaus to emerge from unintelligent beings?
From the time of appearance of this species of animals, from which, by way of natural evolution, developed reasonable beings, in which we are incarnated, according to your chronology, a little more than 150 million years have passed.
I thank you. A question from the same Anna Sukhatskaya. Does the degree of technical perfection of a race depend on the level of consciousness of its inhabitants?
Yes, it depends. Due to the fact that God is not only reasonable, but also is love, he does not reveal many things to scientists of those races whose races are not ready for spiritual development, so that they do not destroy themselves. Speaking very simply, in the noosphere of your planet simply cannot get those ideas which at global introduction in a life of each Earthman can destroy a planet or harm inhabitants of a galaxy. Scientists of your planet will discover information about the world order only as your civilization matures and as your power structures realize the value of life and well-being of each of you.
Thank you, Mead. Thank you. What is the purpose of your Essler civilization's transfer of knowledge to us?
We want you Earthlings to become our full-fledged employees and friends in this huge galaxy, and that you, together with us, study other worlds, send expeditions to other galaxies, study those forms of life in subtle material worlds which are not yet available to your scientists, and of course to make life in your world as calm, measured, and harmonious as ours on Essler. For this purpose our government sends here workers, one of whom I am.
And how many of us on Earth have workers from the planet Essler?
On those bases of the Earth which belong to the planet Essler, there are currently 536 representatives of my world.
Thank you, Mid. Question from Lydia Erlinikova, Chelyabinsk. Why do some people see themselves at the moment of regression in the body of an animal?
Those who at the moment of regression see themselves in the body of an animal, at this moment remember their incarnation in those plasmoid worlds, which were responsible for the life of those or other animal forms, as plasmoids very often have contact with the animal world of this or that planet. And they, for various reasons, being in the ethereal body, take the form of this or that kind of animals. This is the form in which they remember themselves. If, at the moment of regression, spirits could remember itself in the body of an animal in which it supposedly incarnated, it would not be able to transmit this experience, because in the language of people there is no understanding of the processes that occur in the brain of an animal.
Mid. A question from the same Lydia Yerlinikova, Chelyabinsk. How do you feel about the method of regressions?
Positively, it is a good experience for unblocking those processes in the memory that your consciousness needs for realizing itself as an immortal, eternal being, and for realizing those problems that come from past incarnations in this one and prevent you from living. Very often in your race, the consciousness of an ordinary person is not able to get in touch with the superconsciousness by itself. It needs help in the form of the state into which the regression specialist brings them.
Thank you. Who blocks memory during incarnation and for what purpose?
This is done by the guides, spirit guides, who live on the 21st level of the spiritual world, according to the hierarchy. They do this so that the past experience of the disembodied spirit does not affect the life and adaptation to the new body and circumstances, so that he can freely gather new information for life in the world he has entered and for the fulfillment of the tasks he has set for himself, precisely through the body in which he incarnated.
Thank you. A question from Lydia, the same Lydia. Do spiritual beings inhabit people? What do they do it for, and is it possible to protect oneself from such influences?
Yes, they do. It is done by those spiritual entities who, for various reasons, do not want to wait for the turn for incarnation. They want to move as quickly as possible.
Friends, we want to take care of you and remind you not to forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, copy the link to our YouTube channel to your phone so you can easily find us. We also have a Telegram chat group for you to connect with us and other like-minded people. You can find all the details on how to join in the description below this video.